Right, I'm back. Anna, it's your so what's your favourite TV show of the 80s?
Well, there is quite a lot, I'm not going to lie. However, I think my favourite one, because I have really strong memories of making my mum and dad like watch me dance to the opening credits every Saturday night, was the A-Team.
Oh.
And I used to come in like saluting and everything at the beginning, you know, where it's, yeah.
Do you know what?
And it was every Saturday with, I mean, I don't know, I've been like that since I was a kid, like a little dancing show off. But yeah, I literally used to make them. And then we used to have sausage and mash while watching it. I remember it so well.
You know, I always remember about the A-Team. There was, I've never seen so many bullets and no one gets killed.
Yeah, and they could make an entire car out of like a plate and a bit of, I don't know, string or something. It'd be like this big car would come out of the garage. It makes it
go up in the air, smash on the floor, blow up, and then no one had done.
Yeah,
it really made Blue Peter look really naff,
absolutely.
didn't it?
Yeah.
They were good.
So what? So many, because the A-Team, I love the A-Team, but I was because I was a teenage. Well, I wasn't even really a teenager in the 80s. I was quite young. But
look at you.
I love all the cartoons.
Going on here, isn't there?
I know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What?
But all the cartoons to me, like Care Bears and what was the one that I loved? Rainbow Bright. Oh, the raccoons. The raccoons used to kill me. That always made me cry.
That what?
The raccoons.
Oh, I actually love them.
It's a theme tune, Jay. You need to play the theme tune to the raccoons.
They are good.
Are you young enough to remember Stig of the Dump then?
Oh, I'm not. I'm too young for that.
I mean, I don't really remember watching it, but I know of it.
Right.
And the only reason I remember that, because I used to live up quite a rough part of Leicester, and we used to go out as a kid and we used to go down to like, it was like a derelict thing and play silly games, and they used to have like skips down there. And I can remember being in there with my mum come flying down there. She went, "Get out there," because you got something from Stig in the Dump. So,
covered in mud.
Absolutely, she used to go absolutely up the wall and down it. But yeah, brilliant. That see, I like that. Yeah, 18. That was on a Saturday.
Who was your favourite in 18 then, Anna?
I used to really like Face.
Yeah, he was
because I thought he was gorgeous. But then I used to like what was he called? Was it Murdoch?
Oh yeah.
I like Murdoch. Well, Face was the good-looking one, wasn't he? Well, yeah. And he always got the girl face, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Love interest.
Yes.
He did.
Always left everything to the last second or the last minute.
Yeah.
Typical man.
I was fascinated how much jewellery. What was his name?
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
He wore, yeah, but he would never get on a plane.
No.
No, let's drug him.
No.
Yeah.
Right then, Anna, can you remember their
remember what?
Their little catchphrase at the end? He used to have his cigar.
He did. And what did he
still remember?
Right, no, you can't tell me that. I'm going to tell you.
Go on.
George
Wait
Pepper.
a minute. You see, I liked him as well.
George Pepper. He was hot when he was younger.
Oh, he was nice.
Wait.
You're thinking now.
Maybe you can ask your audience.
Do you want me to give you the first word?
Go on.
I.
So much.
Love.
I love
it.
Hard. No, I love it.
When? TV show, Jay. We'll talk about it later.
That's a different one.
I love it when I love it when a plan comes together.
There you go.
Oh.
You're wrong, Kathy. It wasn't hard. Wow, I'm going to get to Kazza now. What's one of your favourite 80s, Kazza? Go on.
Got a few. It's sort of like watching it with my kids, sort of thing. Was Grange Hill.
Oh.
Yeah.
I used to love that. I did.
What was her name? Michelle out of EastEnders.
She was Suzanne Tuller. How sad am I that being obsessed with EastEnders? I didn't know all that.
Yeah, Mark.
That's Mark.
Tisha Dean was in there, wasn't she, from EastEnders? She was in great.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my obsession with EastEnders coming on, you see there. They were Grange. I love Grange
Oh
Hill.
my God, I've got fireworks going off.
What's that song? Just say no.
Yeah, that was the drugs one, wasn't it? When they had the 80s drugs, Just Say No with Zammo and his.
Yeah, that's
Zamo
right.
ended up being the person.
He was, yeah, he was. I mean, that was quite a hard hitting thing for that time, wasn't it? Because it was, and you seen him with it up his nose and things. You know what I mean? It was quite a thing to do, but got a #1 single as well, didn't they? With it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee.
You know what I mean?
You remember the Just Say No?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I used to love it. Well, I'm going to tell you mine. I've got a couple.
Jay, I know what yours is. I am sure I know what yours
What
is.
mine are?
Oh,
Yeah.
right, go on then.
I've got a few.
No, let Jim say it, but like, if I'm right.
I've looked at a few and I just thought I mean, I've already done Golden Girls. That was one of my favourite ones, but absolutely, I absolutely was obsessed with that. But you know, another one I was obsessed with, it was the late 80s, was Married with Children.
Oh my God, that was fantastic. Ted Bundy.
Yeah, and he was Ted Bundy. Was it Ted? Is it Ted? No, what? Ted?
Bundy.
Wait, was Ted Bundy a serial killer?
He wasn't Ted. It wasn't Ted Bundy.
I think he might have got the
Ted Bundy.
bit right.
No, why that? Because I just watched something that film. I just seen a clip of that. Do you know Zac Efron's playing Ted Bundy?
His name was Al
Al
Bundy.
I didn't realise. You know the uncle that's in Married with Children. I didn't realise. Divine. Remember Divine, the big singer?
Yeah, I remember that.
He got that part, but then died just before he started filming it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was supposed to play the uncle, but obviously passed away just before. He'd have been amazing at that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to love Married with Children. I used to love the fact they hated each other, because they didn't. It was just that sort of like thing that they had with each other, weren't it? And the kids were just so out of control. I mean, they just. I mean,
it was his expressions on his face.
It was them
to get me.
Yeah, it was just when she'd say things to him, and he'd just literally cut her dead within seconds.
Yeah,
and that's a bit like, that's got to be some sort of like, I like that sort of sarcastic sense of him, because that's what the Golden Girls was like, wasn't it? As well, that was quite deadpan and
very quick.
Yeah, I used to laugh that much at that. Golden Girls used to make me cry laughing when I used to watch that. Literally used to make me cry laughing. It was just the one-off, and especially, like Blanche was a bit of a tart bag, and it was just that was a nice word, wasn't it? It was just a commentary.
Lovable floozy.
She was a mattress back. That's the word you're looking for. She was a lovable one.
Woman after me own.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to sit there and think, and I can remember someone, I can't remember watching it, and just thought, I heard the word helium heels, and that's probably what she is, a bit of a helium heels, ain't she?
What's a helium heel?
Helium heels.
The older one, the taller one, is it Dorothy?
Yeah.
I used to think she was a man.
Oh,
I did. I actually thought she was
When I first watched it, I used to think it was a man.
Yeah.
No, she was she was brilliant. They reckon that she was just. I mean, I can remember watching an interview, and her and how they played Rose, that's just died recently, Betty Wong. It said that she thought B. Arthur hated her. And even up to finishing Golden Girl, she thought that. She didn't. I just got that impression that she hated me.
Wow.
But yeah, Married with Children. There's loads. And do you know what else I remember? What was the other one? It was a bit like the A-Team, and it was with an helicopter, Air Force.
Oh yeah.
Wolf.
Airwolf. Airwolf.
Yeah.
I stand to be corrected. I'm too young for this.
Oh no.
Remember the TV show California Dreams?
And Saved by the Bell.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
I did like the American detectives though, like Magnum PI.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
I just think every chestnut exactly.
Yes.
I don't like going through like quiet car parks because of that show.
Really?
Yes.
And then, yeah.
He just turned, didn't he, and go.
That's like Quantum Leap. I used to
Oh,
absolutely. I used to love Quantum Leap because everyone was different. You see him, and he'd be talking to me, and then he'd look in the mirror, didn't he? And he looked like completely different. I love Quantum Leap.
How fabulous!
They were
In
good
all
though.
those parts and play those. Actually, believe that he played women as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He really got into the part and.
Yeah. What was that? The Littlest Hobo. Down the road. Oh God, it used to break my heart.
I used to get that. I mean, I know this is going back a bit more. I used to get that from Lasser when I used to watch Lasser.
Yeah.
But he'd come running with his paw like that.
He's falling wells in Lassie.
And Skippy.
Oh, the dog always knows. And Skippy
I'm saying.
He's
Well,
falling in the well.
He did one day, yeah.
well, whereabouts?
Yeah.
Oh, the other one, Flipper, wasn't it? The dog.
Oh, and Flipper as well.
Oh,
In the 70s rather than 80s.
Yeah, 70s.
call him Flipper. Fast. That's a one.
One for 70s.
But then the bill as well. Did the bill...
You haven't even mentioned Gem and the Holograms though.
Oh.
Gem and the Hologram.
Who?
Gem and the Hologram. Jeez. I remember that. And it's a bit like My Little Pony, isn't it? And Care Bears and all that.
Yeah.
Similar, yeah, very.
Gem. Good God. She was a diva, wasn't she?
It was like the bad Barbie.
Yeah, she was. As soon as you mentioned that took me back to about the 80s, and my sisters used to love them. Absolutely love them. That sort of stuff.
Oh, and you loved it as well.
I'll ask you a question, and I didn't realise till I saw it today, so I won't say I know the answer. I knew the answer. I didn't. You see Star Trek,
Yeah.
and who was the captain of the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah,
William Shatner.
Yeah.
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 Can you remember the series that he was famous in?
Oh,
It was a cop series.
why do I? No, it's not.
He was a
Fall Guy.
policeman.
I know.
Kazzy's got
Go on, Kazo. What was it?
Was it the recruit or something?
Ah.
DJ
DJ
Hooker. He trained the rookies, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's
He
him!"
did.
Yes.
DJ Hooker.
Shatner reminds me a bit of Eamon Holmes. I don't know why. Yeah, we don't like Eamon Holmes.
That's a bit like because she was from Heather Lockyer was in that as well, wasn't she? In TJ Hooker that went on to go into Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Yes, it was, yeah.
DJ Hooker.
I was like, "Wow."
They because I used to like.
Get up, we gotta get out.
I used to. I mean, I have to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of the accent, but it doesn't bother
On
me.
the table that they used to put their money in.
Yeah.
A hen.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
It was Avalanche.
Granddad lived next door.
Avalanche,
What
wasn't it?
I want to be touching.
And the mum used to call that. Was it? What was it? What was the floozy that he was having an affair with? His mum used to call him to something.
Didn't she?
What was her name?
Oh, we'll have to Google it.
I wanted to say mattress back, but I think it's.
She had a really horrible, sleepy name.
It wasn't Avalanche. Avalanche was the daughter, wasn't it?
The daughter.
Avalanche was a
I think it was the daughter. Aveline.
Oh, I can't remember the mother. Yeah, I know the mother, but it was this on the side.
She had a really, really
She have a really saucy name. She must have a really like a
name.
saucy name.
Yeah, it was a bit of a. It was quite and she used to always scream it. She used to always scream it, didn't she, to
There
the
we
kids
go.
across the table. She'd
Go on, Karen.
Not giving me any cast at all.
she'd sit there and go on and scream about that old tart across.
Oh, right, here we go. Did we ever see her?
I don't know.
Lilo Lil.
Near enough mattress back.
Oh, why not? That's what,
Oh, brilliant.
that's what they call it.
Yeah. But the thing is, you wouldn't be able to use them sort of words. They wouldn't allow you to.
Name is.
Lilo Lil.
I never really understood why she was called that.
I didn't
So
know
is your
why it was alive for a long time. Then I realised
Jay's your favourite TV show, like, of the now, very similar to your favourite TV show of the then? Does it have
Mine.
the same taste in TV shows?
Yeah, I've watched, I've just finished watching Schitt's Creek.
I love that show.
And
Oh, yes.
absolutely. Do you know,
That
like,
reminds me of Columbo
oh,
Yeah. Columbo.
Oh, Columbo.
because Schitt's Creek, it's always like about the clues and everything. Is that no, not Schitt's
No.
Creek?
No,
It's
Schitt's
something
Creek's
else.
the
Creek's the
comedy.
comedy.
Oh, that's the comedy, isn't it?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the gay guy and the sister and the
yeah, and it's just, you know what it is? The mother is just brilliant.
David.
Yeah, honestly, and he's brilliant. And it's really funny because he's quite anally retented, alien. He's a bit, and his sister's like,
Garden Roses, the Moira's Roses Garden.
yes,
Oh,
I love Schitt's. I do like a lot of comedy. I do watch. Kazi's going. Watch it, Kazi. Schitt's Creek's really good. It's on Netflix.
Oh, it is good.
So funny.
And it's really, really good. And it's I just mine are quite similar. I have that sort of sarcastic sense of humor. That sort of like
They're real father and son, aren't they?
yeah, in real life. It's that cutting thing I quite like. Do you know that?
SCHITTS Creek.
Brilliant. Honestly, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's that. I mean, I've watched something the other day. To be honest, Wendy was saying she was right, because Wendy was saying she did a lot of research on 80s stuff. She said, why is there not an 80s channel?
Yeah.
Just to play.
I bet there is somewhere. I bet there's something you can subscribe to somewhere.
They have gold, but it's the same stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
They have that. I mean, I've not watched Gold for ages because I think you had to pay for it, didn't you?
I don't watch it now, but it was the same.
There is a channel, Pluto. I think Pluto, that's still showing things like Starsky and Hutch and things like that.
Is it?
70s and 80s.
Oh, okay. But like One Foot in Your Grave, I can't remember that 80s or 90s. That might have been 90s actually.
I don't know, because some things were like late 80s and went into the 90s.
Yeah.
Some at the end of it, didn't they? And then you went into like it's like with that music, isn't it? It's like I didn't realise like Yaz and that Yaz song was 1989. I thought that was a 1990 song.
The only way up.
Yeah, I know.
I was a mum of two. I was a mum in 1980 and a mum in 1985. So a lot of children's programs were like say the Care Bears and Rainbow and things like that for my daughter.
Yeah.
And then for my son, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I did.
They're trying to buy them.
Because it's because everything was so people were so obsessive, weren't they? And it's like you were saying as well, Wendy, the other day when you were saying like you didn't realise because we never had mobile phones, we didn't have internet, and we didn't have this. We watched a lot of TV. You know what I mean? So you did watch a lot of telly stuff, and you did watch a lot of shows. I mean, it's like I used to watch a lot of the Saturday shows. You know, like a bit like Karim's A-Team and things like that used to come around. And we used to have like a pop man that used to come around it just before it. Do you know?
I remember leaving the dandelion and burdock bottles on the doorstep.
I was just going to say about dandelion and burdock then, and I've not had that taste for a long time.
See, when I was a little girl, we didn't have a TV.
Oh.
And it was years before we actually got a TV. We used to go to a neighbour's house, but we went to the cinema to see newsreels.
Yeah.
To see newsreels and to see advertisements for chocolates and sweets and stuff like that. and it used to be early, like 10 o'clock on a morning on a weekend before we actually got a TV. So obviously we're watching you only had 1-2 channels, then they got loads of channels, and then 70s come, and then you're watching the telly all the time.
You had to actually go to a cinema to watch it. That's what I find quite interesting, that you had to go to like a cinema to watch it. Watch the news and things like that as well.
Yeah, the newsreels you could only watch at the cinema.
Yeah.
What's the newsreel?
Like BBC News.
They're going off now. This should be 80s, not 60s.
Yeah, we're going like, yeah, we'll get back.
I know when you, but because you didn't have all that.
Yeah.
I think you appreciate it more.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
You appreciate it a lot more, and you watched it a lot more. So 70s, 80s.
That's the thing. And I, to be honest, I always remember watching the teller. I was like, God, he was constantly watching the teller. And you know, I've just looked at it. You know, anyone remember Cagney and Lacey?
Yeah, I love Cagney and Lacey.
Yes.
God, you are a gay man, Jay. I mean,
One happily married, one was just go with anybody.
Yeah, but they were brilliant, weren't they? Because they were like the first time you got two strong female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
In a. You know what I mean? Because they were so. I mean, I seen her. She's 80 now, isn't she? Both of them
Are they really?
They still. Yeah, and I used to love the theme, a bit like the A-Team, the theme tune for Cagney and Lacey. I used to like the theme tune to that as well.
I love the theme tune to The Bill.
Oh, that was a good one.
And it was just the feet.
And all you saw were the feet going like this.
Just walking.
I saw a spoof of that once where they were doing that, and then every step they took, like one would stand on chewing gum, and the next one was like dog poo, and then it kicked them apart away, and like.
And I always remember Alf the Alien.
Oh, and dinosaurs.
Yes. The only reason I know that I can remember my sister, you know, the little baby, and she used to pull the string out, and all it ever said was, "Not the mama, not the mama."
Do you remember? Chase your cares away.
Very small. Music play.
Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock.
That was so cool.
I used to have them. We used to have them two things at the top. They used to try and get them, didn't you, when they were down in the
giant.
Yeah.
Oh, what were they called?
Yeah.
I used to, and sometimes one of them would try and get it, and he'd go, "Mom and Dad, I got a Fraggle. I got a Fraggle." God, a little bit too much today.
80s. Always. Have you ever felt like this? How strange things happen?
Yeah.
Was that 80s or was that 90s?
Who was that then?
Now the twist in the lighthouse.
Oh, I don't know actually. I don't know that one was. Oh,
I know that song.
is that? Yeah, I think that might have been a bit later. I'm not sure. Fraggle Rock. There's the Muppets as well, isn't it? The Muppets were there in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started way back in the 70s.
That started absolutely. It's like
really early 70s.
I just remember it from the 80s. I mean, I didn't even.
Yeah, because it carried on.
Yeah, I didn't really remember it in the 70s. I always remember it when I was about 10, 11.
Yeah.
And that used to.
About.
Come on, didn't it? That was
74, 73, 74. Something like that. It came out, and then
very controversial that I used to absolutely love was Spitting Image.
Oh yeah.
My mum and dad, I used to have to sneak and watch that. They were always like, "No, you can't really watch that."
It was at night, weren't it? Like 10 o'clock. I loved it.
Yeah.
These days, lots of programs were not
politically correct.
They weren't PC.
No, they weren't.
They weren't.
And it's like I actually wanted.
Thinking of LOLO.
I wanted to mention the Cosby Show, but I better not.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I love that. And what was the other one? There was a little small. What is it? And it was the plane. What was that?
Something Island.
Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island. The plane.
I'm not sure if that's earlier than. Welcome, Mindy.
And I think like that, obviously we needed to come round a little bit. But sometimes we're so PC these days. It's like the fun is gone.
I always say that, and I always we've said that before. I just think we're just so. I hate having to watch, and I have to be honest. I don't have a filter, and anyone that knows me, I don't really have a filter, and I don't say anything horrible, but I just hate the fact that you have to watch everything you say.
Yeah,
Well, look at the young ones.
They were so bad.
I do love that.
So bad.
They were so bad.
Absolutely. Yeah, but even then, it's like
someone, no matter what you say these days.
You do, and that's the thing,
exactly.
Anna, isn't it? You just can't say anything. And I just think, at least in the 80s, you could say. I mean, some of the.
Well, it was also
more freedom.
Innuendos, wasn't it? As well, it was.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, it was like Miss Slocum's pussy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be able to say that now.
Fiddles.
But they wouldn't allow you to say that now, though, would they?
To feed my pussy.
Yeah, it would just be.
Work.
It wouldn't even be called.
I'm offended.
Yeah. Hello.
Even Jonathan, he used to go, I'm free. I'm free.
You couldn't even that because that's classed as homophobic. You doing that, isn't it? It's, you know what I mean.
And then the walk that he did, if anybody takes his walk off, they just show you how he walked. But
I do understand. I understand some stuff, and I do get it. But I just think in the 80s, we have become a little bit too. You know what I mean? You can't
but
say
like too much now. It's like you can't. I'm going to sit on a chair. Don't call it a chair.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know.
It's got feelings. It has feelings.
It has feelings.
It is. I just think it's like you said in the 80s, you got away with it. You could say whatever you wanted to say. You didn't have to pussyfoot. I mean, it's things like the show when you think like One Foot in the Grave, and what was the other one called? The Scruffy Bloke. I think it was a bit before the 80s. Alf Garnett.
That was.
I mean, he was filthy.
I don't think that's repeatable, actually.
But the thing is, though, it's the way he called that is the gay black friend. Marigold, and you know what I mean. I just think you just
they called him worse than that.
Yeah, he did. And I have to be honest, I'd have to put an adult thing on if I repeated it.
Wasn't it, Karen?
Yeah, Love Thy Neighbour. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I remember that.
That was 70s, wasn't it?
George and Mildred.
Yeah.
What's that?
George
That
and Mildred.
was 80s, wasn't it?
One Foot in the Grave. They don't believe it.
Great, wasn't it?
I did like that, and I'm not sure if One Foot in the Grave is the 80s. It must be.
I don't know. Let's have a look.
It must be because I remember it from the 80s.
It must be going from the 80s into the 90s.
Because I always used to say that's going to be me. I'm going to be him when I get older.
Everybody knows Victor Meldrum. Everybody knows one.
Now that's weird. It says its first episode was actually 1990.
I thought it would be. It's probably like the end, isn't it? So it would be the end. So ignore that. I can't talk about that because it's a 1990s one. We did.
But it was funny.
Serious one.
Go on.
Go on
Go on
then.
then.
10 core.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Have you ever watched that, Anna?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Oh, you can get it.
Oh, Anna, you've got to watch it.
That was the 80s,
Gotta watch
wasn't it,
it.
Wendy? It was early 80s.
Yeah, that was one of that. I really enjoyed watching
did.
that
Yeah,
story.
That's very. It's
Hard watch.
Yeah.
women. Is it women enslavement and all that?
No, women
It's
captured
when the Japanese took over Singapore.
Prisoner of war camp. Women.
Like 1942, they took over Singapore.
Yeah, but what they had to go through, it was based
What they had to go through, they moved them out of Singapore to an island in between Singapore and Australia.
What did you say?
Yeah.
And because I've been to Singapore and I went round Raffles and the area where they filmed it for the first 2 or 3 years.
Because they were there first, weren't they?
Yeah.
That was
So
a hard watch.
Quite a hard-hitting thing to watch, but I mean, I haven't watched it for. I remember watching bits of it.
The storylines were about class, like the those that went to balls and gowns, and there were lieutenants and majors' wives. Then you had the soldiers' wives, and then you had the prostitutes.
But they all
when they all became in a camp, when they all went in to the camp, they had to learn to live as
together.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite hard hitting now.
Once human.
When I learned that the guy that the lieutenant, or not the lieutenant, because the lieutenant was a baddie, the major, he was actually in Pink Panther.
What was he?
Panther.
Oh.
That was quite old. That was Pink Panther. I remember that. I used to scare my sister. My sister hated that music to that.
Yeah.
As cruel as it sounds, but I was young. I used to play it in my bedroom, because my bedroom was next to her, and hold her door shut so she could hear it. And she was screaming to let me out. Let me out, Jason. She mentioned it to me the other day, because I was supposed to be doing a chat with her, but for some reason I just can't get hold of her, because she's got so much going on with the kids and all that. So I'm hoping sometime this week to grab her. But she did mention that the other day. And she went, she's even now, I'm a 46-year-old woman, and I still can't hear that song without getting that feeling, even now. And she said, it wasn't what you did. She said, it wasn't what you did. She said, I always hated it. It's just eerie, isn't it? It's sort of like, doo-dum, 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 doo-dum. Maybe she listens to it, because if she hears me do that, she won't listen to it. Even to sing to it puts her off completely. But I love that sort of stuff. I love all that sort of, like you were saying, you wouldn't be able to talk about this stuff now that you did then. I mean, like you said, a bit people like Alf Garnett and all that. I mean, it was just even now, you know, to watch some of that stuff. And even though I'm probably the least PC person, but when I look at that stuff, even I think,
yeah. You clutch your pearls a little bit.
Yeah, I do completely. My little pearl necklace.
Okay then.
Proper.
Almost of it. You almost like
Exactly.
I'm just thinking to see me children's ones. If you were a bit younger, Anna. So we've got things like, let's have a look. Pingu.
Pingu.
It's 80's.
Yeah,
I love Pingu.
Pingu.
What was that about?
Penguin.
Smurfs.
80's. I thought that was like 90's.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Smurfs.
Oh yeah.
Barber. The elephant.
Elephants.
Baba.
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse. Yeah.
Well, I typed in 80.